In this video, we're going to do an updated interface overview in the most recent version of Worship Extreme. Hey guys, this is AJ the CEO, and if it's your first time stopping by my channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. As you guys have probably known, I really like Worship Extreme, and the guys over there have been making some significant improvements. And I did an interface video about a year ago and pretty much just decided I need to do an update because they've been adding so many features to it. So let's just cut to the chase and let's get over to Worship Extreme. All right, so I am here and we're going to look at, we're currently on version 4.350. And again, just to let y'all know, I have been in contact with the guys over there at Worship Extreme, and they have blessed me with the full version of the software, so I will be able to go through every single aspect of what the program can now do. So they've changed their logo a little bit, have a deeper green here. This is still going to be your home button and your back button, so you can always get back to here. We still have our clear function here to clear all, clear foreground, clear background. We have our cue list. Still has our inventory here of all of our cue lists. You're able to import from Planning Center, and you can always do tags and filters, name and date. This is where you can do your songs. You can import from Song Select. Again, if you have a CCLI license and an account with Song Select, you can import from here. Create new. You have your templates here, and you can search the same way here. And they have other options of migrating lyrics in from other presentation applications like ProPresenter, Media Shout, or anything like that. So if you built up a huge inventory and you don't want to type everything all over again, you can always import this way. We have our slides again. This is the inventory of the slides that you've already made. And you have your media. Full inventory of all the stuff that you've imported in the past or present. Here you can sort those by tags if you had them on here, which I don't. I didn't put in all the tags there, so you can always add more here. You have more filters that you can filter here. You can view usage of if you're using the cloud to store all your data so that it syncs if you're working from home and you want to log into your account, and then when you get to church, it'll just pull down everything that you've already done and you don't have to do it there in church. Or you can sort by name, size, modified, and type. Now they have a call out button now for the store. So this is your search, but they have stores where you can actually buy your own backgrounds from them, but you can always still use CMG, your own backgrounds and things like that. But what they do give you the benefit of, if I go back to the home, they have a monthly free background that you can always get and download completely free and add to your library of media. So this is a nice little motion one, and they have others, and they come out with new ones every month. Now under more, we have the polls. So you can make here, and last time in the previous interface video, I didn't have access to this, but we can always make new polls here, and it has a list of the previous one that you have, or you can always create a new one. We have our countdowns. Count down, count the time, count up. Make your own template to go with those as well, like I did one with New Year's a while ago and count it down to that. Have your alerts, so you can have somebody left their lights on in the parking lot. Somebody needs to come pick their child up from the children's church or something like that. Still have your Twitter integration so that you can pull down tweets and display them on the screen. And then you have your general search over everything, that not to be confused with the search here in the store. All right. So let's go to our settings here to see if what's changed. So we still have our defaults. Now you can go to 16 by 10 if you wanted to for your display. It used to be just 4 by 3 and 16 by 9. You still have your template standards defaults that you use. Your Bible translation. Do you want to include your scripture reference at the bottom? You want to start with a blank slide, title slide, auto fire where it kicks it off the first time when it launches. How do your background videos and image, how do they scale? Loops, and do you want to upload your media to the cloud to keep your stuff in sync? And your default fade. Here's your CCLI license that you can put here, so they will always display in the bottom if you wanted to. You can pick its location, font, and all that other fun stuff. Your interface. Now they originally had this, so you can have a dark theme or light theme, whichever one is conducive to where you're using your media booth or your media area, wherever you're running. How many media items do you see per page? I'm gonna change that to 40 just because I have a bigger screen. Your screen configuration, nothing has really changed here. If I had an additional monitor, it would show here, but they did add this to our stage display, so I'm gonna have to update this as well too. So now in the stage display, you can actually manipulate how these items are here and move them whichever place. And then if you right click, you can remove certain sections, change the font size and everything like that. I don't believe they allow you to add something new yet, but this is still kind of good. Originally you couldn't make any changes in here, so that's cool. And you can also change the layout here of 4 by 3 or 16 by 9. No 16 by 10, but yeah, still cool. And I need to play around with the stage display app, so I'm gonna just open that and I'll come back and download that later. All right, you have your library and databases. You can always move this to a different location. Me personally, especially if you're sharing this between multiple computers, I actually would have this into like a network attached storage, a NAS or something like that. So if you have multiple computers that are pulling from this, say you have a computer in the main sanctuary and you have another one like in a children's church, if you have one of the higher licenses, you can have a site license to install this and run this multiple times. So you're pulling from all the data in one place instead of having one application on one part of the church has a certain amount of songs, another one has a different one. You can always pick when you want to sync the database. I always close it, have it sync at the end, do some scans, delete all songs. Don't press that button because you'll wipe out everything. All right, this is another awesome feature that they've added, so I'm so thankful that they actually have this. They have, just like before, you can always download XML versions of Bibles that you can find online completely free, or you can buy the ones there. But what I didn't like originally is every Bible that they included, all the other foreign languages, you always had to scroll through them, and they simply added a check on whether you want to see them or not. I mean, that's small, but that's huge. So now, right now, all I have to look through is New King James, American Standard, and World Version. I don't have to scroll through all of this, and it just makes that drop down so much easier to read. And I actually just got rid of versions. I don't know what that is. All right. Got connections, no third-party connections are found. I really don't know what connections are this. I need to read up on this. You got your updates for early adopter. I don't use that in my main system because I need this to be stable. So I don't really do a beta one here. And here's your cache that you can always dump out if need be, and I'll just empty that out for right now. All right, and then we have our regular display here. If I had a third monitor, which I actually do, let me actually set up a third monitor here. All right, so I have my third display here. So let's go back. So as you can see, I'm gonna make display number 3 my stage display, which is pretty cool. So number 2 is going to be what goes out to my projectors. Number 3 is going to be what I would have for like a confidence monitor or something like that. So I want to actually play with that and see what that's like. So current slide, next slide. Maybe I can change that, and you can, the size is auto. Let me readjust this. I want to put the next slide at the bottom and the current. Now, will it let me resize it? Yes, it will. I want to make the current slide a lot bigger. Slide up just a little bit. All right, so we got current time, countdown, alerts, video countdown. So that's cool. So I'm gonna play with that later on. All right. So really like how they have cleaned up a lot of stuff. What they say, don't reinvent the wheel, and they really haven't had to do that because I've been liking what they are doing so far. I hope you like this little overview, and I'm gonna start playing around with some more videos here because it looks like a lot of people are really finding and enjoying Worship Extreme, which I'm really liking. When I came across them last year, I wish I had found them earlier when we were playing around with the software we did. And again, we're going to be moving to them pretty soon. But again, Worship Extreme is a great product, and if you haven't used it, check it out, especially because it's free, so you can always try it out. I've had a bunch of churches that I've worked with have used this and actually have moved to it over their paid option, and they are really happy with the functionality that you get in the other places that you have to pay for. But anyway, if you like this type of content, guys, I appreciate a like. Consider subscribing and hit that bell notification so that you will get notified when we come out with other great videos and other Worship Extreme tutorials. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video later.